Hey, Gems. Hey, happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of the Hustle and Shine podcast. I am your host, Natima Cherie, Queen Pen.
It's your girl Mel V, the MV Pen.
And Tiffany Matthias, the one true Phoenix.
And this is another episode of Hustle and Shine. Look, I was exhausted when we first got on, but cutting up with Tiff and Mel backstage. I'm all right now, ready to tackle this topic. We got a good topic for y'all tonight. We're supposed to have a guest. Hopefully, he will be joining us soon. If not, y'all know what it is. We're going to keep this thing rolling and keep this thing going. So we're going to give you a few minutes to get in here. Go tell a friend to tell a gym they need to be in here tonight. We love the live engagement. We appreciate the comments on the replays. Thank y'all so much, subbies on YouTube, and of course, our gems and gents on Instagram and Facebook. We appreciate it, but there's just something dope when you are live with us that we can actually converse with you and engage with you. So please go ahead, share this live. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell because we have some content projects in the works, and we are going to want your feedback. Thank you, Mel. Always on it. So look, tonight we are talking all about music therapy. For those of you who know this platform and this podcast, everything that we discuss points back to healing and wholeness journey. And so, yes, we do talk about a number of different topics from love and relationships to career and music. Obviously, we talk about dating, we talk about children and all of the good things, but it's always an element that responds to or encourages your healing journey or wholeness journey. And so that this episode is no different. And that's why we are calling this music therapy. But before we jump into our subtopics and the dope discussion and dialogue that we have planned for you tonight, Mel is going to do a sip and shine in just a second. But before she does, we have some news for those folks who don't know. It's all about the 444, baby. Yes, book 4. Book 4, year 4, 2024. Hey, she is coming out on no, I ain't August. April.
Yes, the fourth month. The fourth month of the year.
Right. But it is coming out April 30th. So make sure that you guys go cop that. Hit up Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and the Diamond Writer Sparkle Shop, where we will have copies of She Is, authored by the Diamond Writers. Y'all don't want to miss this fourth book. It's super dope. Also, we will be doing our virtual release on May the 5th at 6 p.m. Yes, that's a Sunday, but we're doing it at 6 o'clock. That's giving y'all time to get home, cook, or eat your Sunday dinner, whatever it is that you got to do, so that you can get in front of your screen and watch us live as I interview the wonderful contributing authors of this fourth publication from the Diamond Writers. All right, that's all I had. Mel, please do the sip and shine.
Yes. What up, gems and gents? So since we are talking about music therapy and the impact of music, I wanted to tell y'all about the event that I have that is fully centered around music. It is called the Queens of Hip Hop Soul Tribute Show and Benefit Concert to raise money for Give Thanks Inc., which is a nonprofit, as well as MAPS, which is Multimedia Arts Performance Scholarship, that provides scholarship for minority students that have exemplified a passion for the arts, including music. So I'm going to share with y'all a little promo video, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it. Want to see it?
Here we go. I would like to get to know if I could be the kind of girl that you could be down for. Cause when I look at you, I feel something tell me that you're the kind of guy that I should make a move on. Hey. I get excited with the one, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and 1, and it comes to 2 to the 3 and showtime.
Hey,
let's go. Dope
now. Come on.
Those gems in the comments. That was dope.
Thank you. So yeah, so it's a 90s event. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like the 90s was like the best era of music.
Of course.
There's so many albums from the 90s that are my music therapy. But yeah, so if you are in South Florida or know people in South Florida, definitely tell them to head over to www.queensofhiphopsoul.com where they can get tickets. You can also donate to the cause. So if you want to support, if you can attend and want to support these scholarships that we are giving these young students who have this passion, please head over there and make some donations to help us continue to support music therapy and arts for our kids.
Yes, we love it. We love it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, I gotta agree. 90s was indeed the best era ever. Not just in music. Well, okay, no, our fashion was a little bit. It was questionable. The fashion, our fashion was a little okay, but everything else about the 90s was super, super dope. So, Mel, of course, we wish you much success and shout out to one of our very own diamond writers, La Vie, who will also be a part of this amazing project. So, y'all go ahead to the website she just got. Somebody drop it in the comments for me, and y'all go and donate. This is a benefit event, which means it is for the benefit of others. Okay. That's
Okay.
what we do here in the Diamond Writers. We give back.
And
Okay.
another diamond. Our diamond Kiara, Maverick Mama, is hosting.
And that is the hostess with
With
the
most.
most. There is no doper host out there. I'm sorry. I'm letting y'all know that now. Yes, I'm biased, but she is truly one of the dopest event hosts, moderators, facilitators, speakers, all the things. So yeah, y'all need to check out that event.
Where
So
Kiara located at again?
She in Georgia.
She
yeah,
in
she's here
Georgia.
in
Okay.
Atlanta.
Yeah, we floating her out to Florida for this one.
Getting
She
flew
getting
out.
she getting flued out.
She getting flew out.
Now, I was
I
wondering if
love
I could
it.
borrow her in September.
Exactly.
Listen, hit
I
her up.
absolutely love it. So yes, make sure that y'all go and support that. She said absolutely Kiara is amazing. So real quick before we get started, we want to show some love. Bernadette, we see you in the comments. Thanks for being here. What's up, Shell Matt? We see you in the comments. Bernadette says 444. She is, period, sis. We see you in the comments. Thanks for the love. Look, Michelle Bernadette, do me a favor. Go get your Diamond sisters. Tell them I said get in here, get in here. Even if they can only listen because they still working. We need y'all live in here tonight. So go ahead and send some messages in our group chat saying, hey, the Queen Pen said, get in here, get in here. We want y'all in the comments. We want y'all here tonight. So ladies, y'all ready to start this discussion on music therapy?
Sure am.
All right, dope. So first off, I'll tell y'all where the idea came from. Y'all remember a couple of months ago, Andre 3000 dropped a very unique album. Yeah, I still call it albums. That's right. Clearly, y'all can tell how old I am, right? He dropped a very unique project, and I don't think the world was ready for it. I definitely don't think the industry was ready for it. A lot of people didn't know how to receive it. They didn't know how to critique it, comment on it. You know what I mean? But when I finally sat down and really listened to the instrumental genius that he had executed in this album, I was like, the world actually needs this right now. There was something about the frequency and the intentionality of his expression and his artistry, and I personally loved it. Like I absolutely loved it. I mean, of course, the names of the songs were very Andre 3000. Like you might not have been able to get with the flutes and stuff, but if you read the names of the songs, and if anyone realizes the names of the songs was actually a verse, like if you read them in sequence, it was actually a verse. Like he spit a whole bar on just the titles. And so anyway, it was a dope, well executed project. But it got me to thinking about music and how music plays such a huge part in our mood, how it influences and impacts society, how it is such a culture. It transcends culture, it transcends language. It really is the thing that connects and divides us. Better than presidential elections. Shameless, sorry, I said what I said. But it's, you know what I'm saying? It's that one thing that does that for society and for our culture. And so I really wanted to take a deeper dive in discussing that for our gems and gents. So we're going to start this thing off talking about music and mood. I want to kick it off talking about music and mood. So when you're cleaning your house, do you listen to music or do you just clean in silence?
The music is on and loud.
Blasting, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Can't even hear a vacuum because the music is so loud. When you are in the car, are you driving in silence or are you listening to music?
Music.
Exactly.
Period. Okay.
Like music
And
is
so
everything.
I put those two questions out there because I want us to think about how some of us literally engage music without thought. Like it is second nature to
Mhm.
turn on, our music or put on our playlist or cut on the radio. It is a part of who we are. I don't even feel like myself if I don't start my day with music. After my
Yeah.
meditation and guided affirmations and all of that, my prayer, music has to be the next thing that I hear. I'm not going to have the best day. If I accept a phone call or converse with the kids, it disrupts the flow of my energy. And that's really what I want to talk about, the energetic rhythm of music. So I'm going to come to you first, Tiff, because we grew up, honey. We the way we used to sing and rap, and before you would think we was a whole girl group, but music
Yeah.
was so like it was a part of our lives, like it was a
It really
staple.
was.
So talk about
Mhm.
music and mood, how the two really are parallel.
So first of all, we gonna take it back to the fact that back in St. Albans, me and Natima and the Sibs and cousins was singing Karen White Superwoman out from the pits of our stomach.
Go
Little
to it.
girls talking about early in the man, like what heartbreak did we have? But we were singing that song. Matter of fact, we was singing that song with an A.
Singing.
And and even if we didn't want to sing it, one of the aunties be like, look at what the girls can do. Look at what the girls can do. So, um, I'm going to say, first of all, if you know me, second of all, because I said first of all, if you know me, you know how important music is to my life. Like, um, I'm a dancer, and so you dance with music, and it's a form of expression. And depending on what my mood is, that's the music that's playing. Therefore, my playlist is very eclectic. I
Mm-hmm.
have on my playlist anything from back to like 1960s Motown music, all the
Mm-hmm.
way up to I'm. Don't ask me who it is because I don't know. I just like some drill and trap music is in there. Like
Yeah.
that's how eclectic it is for me. It's very serious. And when Molly and I first started dating, music was the way that we communicated with each other because music spoke the words that we were too afraid to speak, and
Mm-hmm.
so we shared music back and forth to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it then eventually became the central part of our wedding.
Oh my God, that's so dope. That is so dope. I love the way, like you said, music can impact a mood or complement a mood. So, like, we all got that heartbreak recovery playlist, after we broke it up with someone. Now, some of us is a bit more toxic than others. I'm playing old school Janet, old school Mariah, Whitney,
Somebody playing
some
scissor.
girl, they playing SZA. And what's the other pumpkin? What's the big girl? What's her name?
Meg,
Lizzo.
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 But it's okay because it's expressive. It you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It connects with how we feel. And one of the things you said, cause about the nostalgia,
Mm-hmm.
like nothing sparks nostalgia better than music. I don't
Mhm.
care where you are, who you are, where you grew up. If you hear Frankie Beverly and Maze, you are thinking about them cookouts in the backyard at grandma house. Like that's where your mind goes when you
Mhm.
hear that song. There are certain songs that are so embedded and threaded in our culture that I don't care what your upbringing or your background look like. We're all connected in that way. When you
Mhm.
hear Electric Slide, that's the only song that gets grandma up. She might not fool up with Cupid Shuffle and some of the newer ones, but put on Electric Slide. I promise you, grandma getting up.
She
She
coming.
gonna dance. That's the
Yeah.
only one getting her up. But that is the power of music. So Mel, I want to come to you.
I got a question after you ask Mel.
No, like I mean, expect for me, I mean, music is my profession, so
Yeah.
it's literally encompassed in every part of my life. But yeah, like if you sad, you have that songs that you listen to lift your spirits up.
Mhm.
If you mad, you might have them songs that's gonna amp you up, might get you in a little bit of trouble. You know what I'm saying? It was funny. I was watching I think it was like a clip on like Facebook that scrolled up from the Steve Harvey show, and it was like a lady on there, and she was talking about she's very well put together, very professional, And she was like, I don't know what it is. She was like, it's something about no matter where I'm at. She was like, if Juvenile back that thing up, come on. She was like, I can't help but want to twerk. And she was like, sometimes I feel like it'd be a problem in my relationships because they want me. They'd be like, why? And she was like, it's just something about that song. She was like, I
It's
can't
something
help
about
it.
it. Yeah.
And it's true. It's like, I don't care. Everybody has for their generation, their era, their childhood, whatever. You have that song that just triggers
Mm-hmm.
you. And it don't matter what mood you in. It don't matter how mad you are. You just can't help but bop, dance, twerk, whatever the song triggers in you. You just can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need the words. Like you don't even. I know for that song, it be the first 2 seconds. Like, as soon as you hear it, it's like clear the room, move. I gotta go. So
Mm-hmm.
it's music and mood go hand in hand.
It really does. It
It's
really
Yeah.
it's
does.
it's emotion in audio form.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
It
yeah.
really is. That's so dope. I like how you put that emotion in audio form. I don't think we realize even how our music defines us, how it really does lend to our character and our personality and how we see ourselves in terms of
Mhm.
our identity. There were just certain things about music growing up. I mean, I could even talk about hip hop culture, how it was influenced by rap music. I know a lot of people confuse, they think the genre is hip hop. I'm so sick of having to tell us the young people that that is not the genre of music is rap, rhythm, and poetry. Hip hop was the culture birthed from rap music. So, but
Absolutely.
look, y'all go talk to your parents or some of y'all your grandparents to get more on that. But even when you think of that, how much rap music played such a part in our cinema and movies growing up, in our music, in our fashion, in the way we talk, like our lingo, they're still using it to this day. Words like dope, like that ain't a new word. I had to tell my daughter, like, girl, that's borrowed. Like, get out of here. That is my era. We use
Right.
the word dope. And things like that because most of the rappers were selling dope. But the point is, that was our word, okay? It came with our
Don't tell
generation.
them.
But Tip, I know you said you have a question, and then I had another question for y'all when it really comes to mood and music.
So when you said that put the electric slide on and it's gonna be the only song that grandma's gonna get up and do, and I'm like, that's because grandma knew the electric slide wasn't about a dance.
That
And so it made me think of just the code that is in music,
yeah.
that the lyrics are really not about what the artist is singing about.
Mhm.
It's so many different levels to it. Like
Yeah.
just clear out in the blue, singing about things that shouldn't have been sung about, but
Yeah.
It's
found
so many.
a beautiful poetic way
Mhm.
to to sing about it. So yeah, Grandma got up about and did that electric slide. Knew what that slide was about.
Boogie
She knew
is
that's how I was, honey. Okay.
boogie
Yes.
is wiggy.
Yeah.
And if
And
you don't know, because you're young and you on here, we welcome you into the fold. But go listen to the song, listen to the lyrics, and
uh-huh.
then go and Google and find out what the electric slide really about.
Did she really
It's
talk
so many. It's so many songs like that though. Like you
Yeah.
were saying earlier, it's so many songs that just because musically they were so amazing and you just love them, but like we ain't have no business
No
singing. I was
business.
listening to some songs and I was like, we was out here singing all the wrong stuff. Like,
Listen. I remember old dirty bastard. Ooh baby, I like it raw. So I'm out here saying that. My father like, what you like, raw? It better be chicken. I'm like, what? What's what? Because I don't know what he's
Yes,
talking about.
yeah,
I just know that I like ODB and he liked it raw. So I was just, ooh, baby, I mean, going in. Like, I
right.
was really like the man wife back then. And my father was like, you better be referring to chicken. I'm like, I guess I am, though. Like,
Yeah.
I think so. I don't
That's
know what
like,
he's talking about.
what's that other song that, oh, you make my love come down?
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
just about to ask, what was the song? Okay, Tima said it. What was Mel? What was the song you got caught singing that you shouldn't have been singing? That when the adults heard you singing it, they put you in your place.
Oh, I don't know. That's the crazy part. I don't think I ever got caught like singing a song and it was like, hey, hey. But I remember, I remember when Little Kim's hardcore album came out. And I wanted that for Christmas so bad. And so I knew like nobody, the adults. So my cousin got it for Christmas, but I remember he had to buy it, take the plastic out, and fold the book
Yep.
to like one of the more decent pictures,
Yep.
so that when I opened it, it wasn't like. But yeah, yeah, nobody. So I definitely that was definitely an album I ain't have no business listening to,
Oh, honey,
and
yeah,
I
this
definitely
is
had to hide
good.
that. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, but I think growing up, I'm West Indian culture, so
Mm.
ain't none of our songs we supposed to be singing. But I think it was a little bit of a different, what I'm saying, because you get up there, you be whining, or they don't say nothing to you, like whatever. But it was some of them like Lady Saw and Patrick. There was definitely songs that ain't
Oh
had
my
no
gosh.
business singing and or dancing to. Um, but yeah, I think I just knew certain things too. I just knew certain words I wasn't supposed to say, so you just like sing around it or sing the lyrics wrong because you just like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I can't think of one particular song that I got caught necessarily singing and like got in trouble for. But I definitely got in trouble for listening to some stuff. I.e.,
Uh-huh.
I.e. that hardcore album.
What about you, Ted? What's the one?
So the one I'm gonna blame my daddy. Rest his soul. I'm gonna blame my daddy. So it was 1980 something something another, and I was in the kitchen washing dishes, singing Stevie Wonder, "Do I do what you do when I do my love to you?"
But again, in our defense, we don't know what they're saying. We just really enjoyed the
I like
lyrics and the melody.
Yeah.
I like the beat, but this little Kim album, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know the first song that my daughter sang that she had no business singing, and she was 2 years old, 3 years old. Indigo was in the crib, and thanks to again my dad, who was a hardcore Junior Mafia, Biggie Smalls fan. Yeah, he had my Tyler talking in the crib, talking about she be playing with her coochie.
Okay, see, and you know what? That's actually going to segue really well to our next subtopic. But before I go to the next subtopic, I do want to shout out some folks in the comments. Colleen Nero, we see you, beautiful. She says my toxic trait getting amped up every time I hear Rough Riders anthem. No, period. No,
Get
seriously.
it,
Once you hear
get
that, it's over.
Right.
There is no reason to even be around because arms is
Yeah.
fine and they ain't even knocking if you bucking. But I hear you. Bernadette says, I caught my daughter singing "You Make My Love Come Down," and I said, "What that means?" It's like, what did you
Me and your
say?
daughter should do a duet.
What are you saying exactly? Danielle says, "Folks too busy dancing to the electric sky. They don't care what they saying." Indeed, not. Like none of us knew, nor did we care. We weren't bothered by it. Thank y'all so much for being here. Stick around with us. We got two more subtopics for y'all. So the next one I want to jump into, and this one we probably gonna spend some more time on because there is a very healthy debate going on in my home about this particular topic, and that is music impact and influence on society.
Mm.
The reason I wanted to talk about this, just to kind of preface, my daughter is 15; she'll be 16, and she listens to Sexy Red and Meg Thee Stallion and SZA and some of those others that I think really need just therapy and a hug. And I got a problem with it because I'm a mother now, right? I'm a mom, I'm momming. And so I am always beefing with her. Like, why do you have to listen to this? Why do you enjoy listening to this? And so she said, well, I just like the beat is catchy. I really don't care about what they're saying. I'm like, but you're repeating what they're saying. You know all the lyrics. And she said, well, wasn't that how grandma and G Daddy were when you was a teenager rapping to Lil Kim and Foxy Brown and a million and all of that? And I'm like, yeah, she's right. She's absolutely right.
Nobody asked you. Look.
Right. Nobody asked you to talk about that. But where my comeback was, because we have a relationship where if I can prove myself or make a point, you have to at least consider what I'm saying. And so what I did was I came back with the argument that although their behavior and lyrics weren't the greatest, they didn't have the same influence and impact on culture and young women as these young girls have now. And that was because of the balance we had. Yeah, we had Little Kim and Foxy Brown and some, pretty
Mhm.
explicit lyrics. Let's not forget Adina Howard because her and her t-shirt and panties, okay? Because
Right.
I say it all the time, right?
Yeah.
But we also had, other figures, other Black women, positive figures that kind of brought some balance to society. We don't
Yeah.
have that now. And those that do exist, they don't get the same notoriety and the same fame and the same exposure and the same light or followers or whatever it is that perpetuates, social acceptance. We don't really have that in the same
Mhm.
regard. And so I want to really talk about how current music is impacting and influencing society, whether it's culture, social media, young people that should be preparing for leadership are still stuck. And I feel like they're stuck. I honestly do. I feel like many of them are not maturing and growing and becoming because they're really stuck in this.
Mhm.
I don't even know what to describe it. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm gonna come to you first, Mel, because you were shaking your head, and I feel like you have my back with my daughter. Like I need somebody to back
No,
me up with this
I
kid.
got no for real. I think that I think one of the things is, I mean, obviously with some in hip hop culture, so to speak, it was definitely a little bit more out there. But I think overall, it was a bit more subliminal
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
our era. Like now, it's just out front and center.
Yeah.
Um, and then I also think like the age range, and I don't, we weren't so close in age really with the people we were listening to. So it
True.
almost was like, well, they're adults. We were inappropriate for singing the adult music. But
Right.
now, these a lot of these they're like 18, 19,
Mm-hmm.
20. And you know what I'm saying? They're younger. And so they're in arm's reach of the age of these younger girls. So it just I don't know, it comes across a bit more personal, a bit
Yeah.
more to like what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then I think it's because it's so across the board. Like
Yeah.
for us, you had isolated individuals.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It wasn't everybody.
Right.
I feel like now it's everybody. Like
Right.
there is no alternative to that.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
everywhere you look. You know what I'm saying? The over sexualization of it, the freedom of it, and it's so blatant.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of, you had case in point, you had Little Kim and you
Discretion.
had, yeah, you had Little Kim and you had Foxy, but then you
Right.
also had, Eve and you
MC
had
Live.
Missy Light.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
had a counter, to and now it's like, no, it's
Yeah.
everyone. So
Exactly.
it's like, well, this is what you have to be. There is no alternative. Where
Exactly.
we had, like you were saying earlier, the balance. We
Yeah.
had the ability to say, okay, well, we see that side, but we also see the other side,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and now they don't have it. So it's becoming almost like you have to be this way. This is
Exactly.
how you have to represent yourself. This is the type of woman you have to portray. This is the type of woman you have to be to be somebody. And
Mhm.
it's heavily influencing every
Right.
part of the culture,
Exactly.
and from the music, which now also influences the TV. Um, and I even feel like even though we listen to that stuff,
Hmm.
we wasn't out here trying to run around in bikinis and a fur coat.
Nope. Nope.
We listened to it, but we weren't trying to walk outside and emulate it.
And not to cut you off, Mel, but I just need to insert this so I don't forget it. We also didn't have mothers who were trying to do it. Like you said, unfortunately, we have such young mothers. The mothers and the daughters are trying to act like Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B. And so that's another thing. We had mothers who
Mm-hmm.
were real, you know what I'm saying? They were mature women, evolved women, not
Yep.
trying to be like their daughters, not trying to be like the same in the same influential circle or
Yep.
sphere of influence that their daughters are. And I
Yep.
think that also is playing a huge part in it.
Absolutely. Like fully. And but that's because again, this started, a few years back, but it's dwindled out to now that everyone is buying into this. And unfortunately, even some of the older artists
Mhm.
are now conforming to represent that because they now feel like that's what they have to do to sell
Just be
records and to be
relevant.
popular. And so it's just become the only form of expression is
Yeah.
to put this out there. And
Right.
so, like I was saying about the fashion thing, although that was what we saw, it was very much almost tomboyish era for us. So we weren't out there being naked. It was like we
Right.
might have been rapping these songs, but we weren't putting it on display in real form, real
Behavior.
time.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's what I see. And then when you walk in the store, that's what has not emulated in the fashion. It's what's emulated in TV. So it's becoming real life now. It's not just so far removed. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like for us, that was almost fantasy world. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't reality. We weren't,
Right.
like you said, I wasn't coming home and seeing my mom dressed like Meg the
Nope.
Stallion. So for me, it was
Right.
like, ooh, it was a fantasy thing. But
Right.
for women, for girls now, it's a reality because you see it on TV and then you walk outside and all the girls or the women outside look like that. You come home, your mom, your sister, your auntie, and sometimes your grandmama look like that.
Yup.
So
True story.
it's not like this separation of
Right.
reality and fiction. It's all
Yeah.
one and the same. And so it's horrible. And it has allowed the standard of womanhood to be decreased so heavily.
Mhm.
Not only from what women present,
Mhm.
but also what is now expected
Mhm.
from the male population. And it is we in trouble.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. And I'm gonna come to you in a minute, Tiff. I just wanted to add the comment that I think the biggest challenge for me as a music lover is I take it personal how it's no longer an option but the standard. Like you said, like artists don't even have the option to be different anymore unless they're independent or unless they, you know what I'm saying, that they have to take those risks on their own. In terms of relevancy and exposure and marketing and all of those things. I remember when I was younger, like you said, our rappers and our artists, they talked about selling drugs. These artists talk about using drugs. That's all they freaking rap about. And so I'm like, do you not see the difference here? Like, yeah, Jay and Biggie and them, they may have sold the drugs, which is wrong, but they weren't addicted to them. That's your generation. Y'all are the ones on the products, not the ones selling the products. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? And so that
Right.
mindset, even the difference in mindset, again, by no means, I don't need nobody saying the Tiba said street pharmacy is an entrepreneur, pursuit. It's not. But I'm just simply saying their mentality was more entrepreneurial and money focused. But y'all just want to party, get high, have fun.
Yeah.
You think you're immortal. And I think that's the wrong message that our music is sending to young people now is that they're immortal. No, you're going to die one day. And for
Yeah.
some of y'all, it's going to be sooner than others because of the lifestyle that you've chosen as a result
Yeah.
of the influence of this toxic music. And I remember my dad used to call my genre or my generation of music toxic, and I didn't get it. But I see what he meant in terms of the decay because the systemic oppression through music was gradual.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It may have seemed like small efforts, but there was a whole master plan because now you put the dumbest lyrics to a dope beat and you got the whole club turned up and nobody even know what they're saying. I saw a skit
Yes.
and I promise Tip I'm coming to you. I saw a skit though on social media back when I was on social media. And the dude was like at a Travis, his name Travis Scott. I don't know nobody's name, but he was at
Mhm.
one of his concerts. And he was like, he was playing the voiceover. He was like, y'all ready to go to hell with me? And they were like, yeah, let's go. And the one dude was like, wait, what? He was like, oh, y'all coming to hell with me. And he was like, wait, what? And so he was like, do y'all hear what he's saying? But that is literally the time we live in. And
Mhm.
because it's a dope beat and a flashy artist and someone that mainstream media told you to love, you're literally starting to recite and you know what I'm saying, recite these
Mhm.
mantras that are their lyrics. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't okay with me, not for my teenager. All right, Tiff, go ahead. I'm sorry. I want you to weigh in on this discussion. How is music influencing and impacting social, what did I say? Society, sorry.
Society. Okay. So you both touched on a few of the points or many of the points that I was getting ready to discuss. So over sexualized black bodies make money. Period, point blank at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
Starting with the music, every um, yeah, every last artist out right now, from the tiniest, rail thinnest to the most voluptuous, everything is about their lyrics are about their body.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Mhm.
I just want to know when, like, all of these rappers right now, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want anybody coming for me. I'm going to put this disclaimer out there right now. I am nobody's fan. I am nobody's stan. I like artists and their music, but I'm not dropping hundreds of dollars for concert tickets, thousands of dollars to chase them across the globe and all that other stuff. So
Right.
I'm not. But all of them, all of the women are talking about what's between their legs. That's it. And
That's it.
so you have all of these rap battles that are going on right now. And it literally is about these women singing about who has the wettest, the juiciest, the tightest, the whatever it is. And there's no substance there.
Right.
Um, and that's very disturbing. That's very
Right.
disturbing. But again, the only reason that this music is out is because there is somebody who does not look like that artist, who does not represent what that artist is trying to portray, who's making the decisions in the music industry to put this content out.
Right.
The only reason it is out. And then, yes, you do have your people who go independent and all that other stuff, but the mainstream ones are not independent, or they were independent and then came on to a label. And
Right.
again, so the summary is, and then based off of what it is that they're rapping about, that is how they dress, and then it transfigures into the fast fashion and the fact that all of the clothes are like this big and are 90% lycra, so they stretch to this big, make it. And if you know anything about material, the more it stretches, the more transparent it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, they're out here practically naked. I am on social media. There was a girl who went viral for her prom dress. When I find it, I'll share it within our group. But the young lady essentially was wearing a piece of sheer material with the little Kim pasties over her nipples. And then it went down into like just this big bird layer of yellowness or whatever. And people were like, is this appropriate for prom? Where? What
Right.
prom? Like
Right.
the parents' ball maybe, but not prom. But if she's only going to prom, that means she's only 16, 17, possibly 18 years old. There's an adult who co-signed this and
Mm.
thinks she looks good. And it's not that I want to take away from women having autonomy over their bodies, but do you really have autonomy over your body if you are out there showing it for everybody? Are you showing it because you want to show it, or are you showing it because it's the trend? Wait, wasn't that a lyric in somebody's album?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Showing off your ass because you think it's a trend. Girlfriend.
Let me break it down for you again. Okay, don't get me started because y'all know how I feel about Lauren. Y'all know how I feel about Miss Hill. Okay, yeah, yeah. No, period. Tip, everything you said is so true. Tiara, we see you in the comments. Sis, she said they need a Whitney Houston. I mean, look, okay, and her drug habits, but you know, Whitney was the truth when it came to the voice. She
She said
wasn't.
you ain't had no receipt.
Whitney ain't had a receipt. But one thing I will share with y'all, a good girlfriend of mine said something so profound to me, because we were talking about music and why lately, since I've been in this healing space, the only thing I want to hear is music that have a particular melody. It has nothing to do with the lyrics, but it's almost like my heart and my mind and my soul is searching for a particular frequency in music. And so I was like, why do you think that is? And because she's a singer, she's a psalmist and a singer. And so I know she knows it's her world. And she said to me, she's like, music is the only thing that doesn't need permission to penetrate our soul. That is the one. When you have conversation, the person has to be invited. When you know what I'm saying? Anything else we do in life technically needs your permission you know what I'm saying, to enter. Music is the one thing that penetrates all of us with no permission. If you put it on, it's getting in you. That's why when I remember, Mel, you remember this when we were teenagers, don't put on Ludacris Move, get out the way, because I'm driving fast. Like I'm speeding. I don't know why. There was something about that song that gave me the permission to speed. I was like, I felt it was necessary to start speeding. And so, anyway, when she said that to me, I really thought about how music is influencing our young people now. Many of them are not giving the permission to be, you know what I'm saying, for their soul to be penetrated with these lyrics that oh, you should be more provocative, and it is liberation, it is freedom to show off your body. If you have it, why not? Those things are being, you know what I'm saying, they're being penetrated and
Mhm.
invested by them, not
Yeah.
even realizing, they're not even understanding what's happening to them. And this
Oh,
is why we have to do better at parenting, to make sure that we're safeguarding. Because I told my daughter, listen, if you can explain to me the why for listening to certain lyrics and certain people, I will let you continue listening to it. But if you cannot justify and stand by your response for yourself, not what your friends say, not what somebody else, for you, why do you have to listen to this song? Then you're not going to listen to it anymore, at least not in my house, right?
yeah.
And I feel like that's how we need to be. We need to take a stance against what our children are listening to and what's getting on the inside of them, what's becoming a part of their character and their nature and their thought process. Because we don't realize that that is all a part of a bigger plan, a bigger picture to destroy them before they even start. If you can get a child to believe they're nothing more than, you know what I'm saying, a sexual object, that is the mentality they'll have for the rest of their lives. Even if other stuff gets put on top of it, at the core of who they are always going to point back to the fact that I am nothing more than a sexual object. So I'm not going to set boundaries in relationships. I'm going to take back men who do me dirty. I am not going to require much out of other people because I don't think I'm worth more. And where did she hear that message? Subliminally in a song that said whatever these damn lyrics say, because I don't understand them. No way. So anyway, I just want to pause. I want to pause and come back to you, Mel, before we wrap up this subtopic and move forward. You being in this industry, and you have live music concerts, and you're constantly working with different artists. What do you see in terms of their objective? Like, are most of them a part of this because they want to be relevant and they want the fame, or do you see artists stepping out saying, "Nah, I don't rock with that, but I do offer this kind of music instead, this alternative"?
Um, well, all of the clients that I have um, are definitely not a part of that trend. And I specifically don't have that type of client.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, I get DMs and messages all the time from clients asking, for my services and management and things like that. And I could be making a whole lot more money if I was to align with them, but I just don't. That's
Yeah.
not what, it doesn't fit my brand, and I don't
Yeah.
align with it. And I'm like, I can't fully be vested in you in this project if I don't believe it, because I have to now go and sell this. And I was like, I can't sell what I actually don't support or believe in.
Yeah.
And so thankfully, all the clients that I have don't. They have their own lane. They are artists. You
Mhm.
know, I always tell people there's a difference between being a singer or a rapper and then being an artist.
That part.
There's a difference, and
That
so
part.
all of the artists that I work with are that. They take pride in their craft. They're creating. It's not this, one step copy paste repeat. Everybody sounds alike. And then like all the musicians I work with are all live musicians.
Mhm.
So the authenticity of what they're creating isn't like anything else. Right
Mhm.
now, I think our industry, it's all copy paste.
Mhm.
Everything sounds exactly the same,
Mhm.
which is why you're getting that same result, because music or sound, if you like dig down deep into it, sound perpetuates into colors,
Mhm.
which they spark certain mental and brainwave frequency, like you said, with the frequencies, and they
Yep.
exude these certain things. And
Yep.
so if you look at a lot of the music and what these radio frequencies and these sound waves, what they're triggering, is why you're getting a lot of the behaviors that you get. Now, not to like knock certain genres, but that's why you look at a lot of the like those rave and techno concerts and things, and like they're also angry, because the
Yep.
frequencies and the pitch of that
Yep.
music, that's
Yep.
what it invokes.
Yep.
It triggers that part of your brain, that it
Yeah.
stimulates that emotion and that feeling. And so we also have to be very conscious of the fact, or pay attention to the fact, that one of the reasons why a lot of this stuff is becoming so systemic is because everything sounds the same. So
Yeah.
everything is emoting the same emotion and the same feeling.
Yep.
So, that's why everybody that's listening and tuning into this has this same sense of, I need to do this. I feel this way. because
Yep.
everything you're listening to, that's what these waves and frequencies are emitting. And
Yep.
everything sounds the same. One great thing, we'll go back to what we were talking about with like our genres and previous eras of music, everything was different. Nothing sound the same. So
Mm-hmm.
depending on what you were listening to, even regardless of the lyrics, the
Mm-hmm.
musicality of it
Mm-hmm.
triggered different feelings and different emotions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now you don't have that. Everything has that same undertone, that same bottom beat, that same, it's the same thing, and they just add pile
Yep.
onto it.
Yep.
And so everybody is like, it's almost like it's brainwashing you to some
It
extent. It's brainwashing you because it
it
literally,
is.
it's triggering the same mental stimulation over
Yep.
and
And
over
over.
and over, and you done listen to 20 different songs, but they all have that same undertone frequency. So it's triggering that same emotion
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over
Mm-hmm.
and over again. And nobody realizes it because they're not paying attention to that. They're like, oh, well, it's a different artist, it's a different thing. Yeah, turn off the vocals. Turn off
Mm-hmm.
the vocals, you know, tune down the little auto tunes that they put over it and get to the core of that beat for each of these songs and play them. They're all
Yep.
exactly the same, which is why
Yep.
it triggers those same. It's almost like subliminal messaging with
Mm-hmm.
music. And these people that create this music know that they've
Yep.
seen this. They understand, sound waves and sound frequencies and what to emote emotions and what they know that. It's why you can listen to some very slow songs but still not
Mm-hmm.
feel sad, but you listen to other slow songs and immediately feel sad. It's the waves and the frequencies that they emote.
Yep. Yep. That is so good. Go ahead, Tiff. You have something to add.
Yeah, what it's reminding me of is when heavy metal music came under scrutiny back in, maybe it was like, I think, like the 80s and early 90s, and they were
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, it's the devil music. If you play it
Yep.
backwards or you play it this way at this speed, it's
Mhm.
satanic and all this other stuff. And so there was all of this energy that went into by a certain group of people about protecting their children from heavy metal music.
Uh-huh.
But with that being said, that same energy is not put into now protecting children that look like us
Right.
from the same thing. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, it seems like, and I'm not going to say heavy metal fell off. I'm pretty sure it is still out there. It's just not as popular as
Right.
it was then. Like it went heavy metal grunge and then we came into what we are now. But
Right.
yeah, the Mel's talking about the frequency really made me think of the mothers who were on Capitol Hill, who were protesting against certain artists, who lobbied for the explicit lyric warnings that are now on the, I'm going to say 99.99% of music. It's to the point that I recently noticed that Spotify, because I'm around children often, I curbed my playlist to filter out explicit lyric content.
Mm-hmm.
There are songs that I am so used to hearing that now have explicit lyric content on them, warnings on them. And I'm like, what is in there? But it might not actually be the words that are explicit, but
But the
the
frequency.
messaging in the
Mhm.
music
Yep.
that is. And
Yeah.
that's something that we have to take into consideration when it
Yeah.
is we play music around children.
Mhm.
That is so
Young
good.
people.
That's so good. But like Mel said, she made a point a moment ago about the rotation. I was in the nail salon Saturday. Me and baby girl was getting our nails and feet done. So I was in there probably 90 minutes, maybe not that long. Cardi B's new song came on 5 times.
Okay.
And I was in there less than 2 hours. That is intentional. But when we were growing up, it may have taken 3, 4 hours before you heard a song come back around in rotation,
Mhm.
because there were, like Mel said, there were so many different genres available, so many different artists available, so much selection that it took time for you to get through a playlist on one of the popular radio shows, or who remember the midnight, what's the was the
Quiet
Quiet
Storm.
Storm, honey? Yes, right. It took
Mhm.
time to get music through. And one thing I want to offer to the discussion before we move on, because I did a lot of study on this. I just didn't get to share all of my notes, which is totally fine. I had a lot of questions for the guests we were supposed to have around this. But if y'all remember, in like, I could go back maybe to the 60s, only because, I have parents born in the 60s and I grew up listening to music and artists from the 60s. But from the 60s to early 2000s, there were multiple groups, right? And I feel like that signified unity, like that we were still unified in a lot of ways in terms of our culture and communities. Whereas now, the brand and the norm and the trend is individuality, but not individuality in terms of, authenticity, but that individualistic type of attitude. Like, it's all about you. We're much more self centered and self serving. And so everybody's a solo artist. There's like barely any more groups anymore. And
There aren't any.
realize I don't think we realize how that plays a part on psyche, because growing up seeing nothing but groups, boys to men, Jodeci, okay, like there was nothing but groups, H Town and the Boys and Another Bad Creation and Chris Cross. There were groups across the board. It always sent a message of friend circles and family and unity and being unified. Whereas now everybody is out for self. Everything is me, myself, and I. I'm a solo artist. I'm gonna do it alone. I can live this life by myself. And so now that's the exact mentality that most of these young people have. They feel like they don't need nobody. They can get it done on their own. Step on whoever you gotta step on to make it. You become the overnight YouTube sensation. You blow up on TikTok and Instagram. And it's like no one cares about community anymore. And I never realized how music had a lend a hand in that. Like the role music played in that, because we don't see groups no more. Like seriously, like there are no groups anymore. Not Total, not SWV, TLC, Destiny's
There's nothing.
no group. So anyway, I just wanted to offer that.
To add to that real quick, even with the collaborative efforts, like even though you do have like collabs with songs, one, you very rarely see them perform them together.
Right.
Two, we don't really have music videos like we did back in the day, so you don't even see them there. And even down to the creation of them, back then you would come together in the studio to create this. Now it's like, I did my part, let me send it to you, you do your part, send it back to me.
Exactly.
And
that part there made me think of the documentary. We were talking about it, I think last month, Tima, the greatest night in music history, when they got everybody together to do We Are the World, and it was like, we got one shot to do this, like, and you there, and the individuality of what's happening now, like everybody being an individual, it's not just in music, it's in sports. And I don't even follow sports, but I do know about a franchise player and how an entire team can be built around one person in order to get championships. And as soon as that person might not like somebody who's on the team, they're dispensable, and they get traded and all this other stuff. And so we actually now live in a society that is very self-centered and egotistical. And working in youth development, it's very difficult to also, because this starts when they are children, teaching them to be on a team and how to work collaboratively. But the parents have to support that. And so parents often step in and be like, you can't talk to my child. Like, they'll tell a coach, you can't talk to my child that way. Or they tell the children to tell the coach, you can't talk to me that way, when all the coach is trying to do is teach how to be part of a team. Like, remember, the saying used to be, there's no I in team.
Right.
But what people have turned it into is like, you're right, there is no I in team, but there's a me.
That part. Oh, that's so true. That is so good. And like you said, when this is your influence in your formative years, you become a difficult ass adult. And how do I know? Because I work with most of them. Okay. I can tell who never heard no growing up, who never got a spanking growing up, who was a part of a football or basketball team and got a trophy just for participating. You can see the behaviors in adults, grown folk, because you have to constantly ask people, let that person finish before you speak. Everything can't go your way. This is not your meeting. Like, so Tiff, everything you said is so true. Like how that is influencing even behavior beyond, just sitting and listening to music. So before we do Here's a Gem, we're not going to get to our final topic, and that's totally fine. But before we do Here's a Gem, I want to hear y'all top 5 female groups or singers. It could be a mix of individual or group.
You supposed to give us this question before the show.
Nope.
Right?
It's hot. Let's go. Mel, you go first.
Female,
The only female.
artist, or group.
It could be an artist or a combination of the two.
Oh God. I mean, Whitney Houston. This is in no particular order.
Y'all know that's my babe.
Oh my gosh. Lauryn Hill.
That's my boo.
Mary J.
Uh-huh.
Brandy. I need like singers and groups. They're like two separate categories.
Gotta mix them.
That's 4, right? I need one more.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm gonna go with SWV. I'm gonna keep it in the 90s.
Yeah. Good one. Good one. All right, Tim, before I come to you, Gems and Gents who are with us tonight, go ahead and drop yours in the comment. I want to know your top 5 female. It can be female rapper, female singer, female group. Gotta be female. Drop your top 5.
Jenny, we could have did rappers. I didn't know that. You said singers or groups. You didn't say rappers.
Sorry, I meant female artists. Your top 5 females. So y'all go ahead and drop those in the chat. We want to know. All right, Tiff, what are yours?
That's not fair because I missed some that would have went in there.
Sorry.
This is very hard. As I mentioned earlier, I am nobody's fan. I am nobody's stan. I like artists. I like songs. Mm-hmm. So this is in no order, all right. But I will say that the foundation starts with Miss Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Okay, period.
I gotta put them up there. Mm-hmm. Mariah Carey, simply for her vocal range and I'm just saying, like, she came out with Vision of Love, and then that girl was like, okay, I know y'all liked who Tommy presented, but this is Mimi. Like, and reinvented herself. And I just love her cuckoo crazy. When she did her cribs and she climbed into the bathtub in her fur coat, I was like, that is the level.
True story.
Okay. Mary J, because she speaks my love language, TLC, and don't shade me, y'all, but I actually do love me some Beyonce.
Okay, no shade.
We come in like Beyonce. Listen,
no, I really do.
I'm not part of the Hive.
Right. So you like Hive adjacent, like you like one of the fans over here. Okay.
And I will tell you that I personally I think her best album was Lemonade.
Okay, all right.
That's
you know what? And I'll say that most of the best albums are always the ones with pain in it. Those are always the best albums.
Oh yeah, because my life.
My life, exactly. They're the most relatable. Keisha Cole's first album, baby.
Listen, Tony Braxton Secrets.
Yeah, it's the pain. So if the pain makes it real. I have to say my top 5. Y'all know my number one queen sits alone on the throne is Whitney. Y'all know. Y'all was calling and checking on me when my boo boo died. Like y'all know Whitney is the love of my life. Next to my kids. Okay. Lauryn Hill, absolutely. Of course, Brandy. We have a lot of overlap. But I am a huge Tamia fan. Like, people sleep on her. I love me. Not only is she a dope writer, but vocally, like she can
Yeah.
sing, like in real life.
Mhm.
And then if I had to throw in a girl group in there, I have to say SWV. Them sisters with voices, because Coco, honey, she underrated.
Yes,
Coco
it is.
is way underrated. Her voice is insane. So
Mhm.
yes, those are my top five. I see y'all dropping your top five in the comments. Daisha
You
says
really are the same
Lauryn Hill.
person.
She says Lauryn Hill, MC Light, Mary J, The Supremes, and Brandy. Absolutely, Daisha. We agree. Tiara says Badu, Jill. How did I forget? Jilly from Philly. Absolutely. SWV, Aaliyah, and Deborah Cox. Come through, Deborah Cox, because you're not supposed to be here.
No.
We all knew that. I don't know who you were, but when she sang that, you got your ass up and left because she said you're not supposed to be here, and you knew that.
Uh-huh.
We appreciate y'all comments. All right, ladies, let's drop a gem. Go ahead and give the people your final gem for the night. I'm a two better Mel. I am. You better. I promise.
Okay. It's okay.
Go ahead and drop that gem, Mel.
um my gem for tonight is just protect your mental space. And that includes what you listen to.
Yeah.
That also includes what you watch.
Yeah.
It includes everything that you entertain.
Yeah.
Um, we sometimes forget how impactful our mental space can be on everything else in our lives.
Yeah.
So protect that at all
Yeah.
costs. And don't allow society to influence what you know to be your safe and healthy mental space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. Thank you. Thank you, Mel. Tiff, go on and drop a gem for the people.
All right, so this is sparked by what you said. Music is the only thing that doesn't require an invite to penetrate. And I think that goes to us being in utero. And the first rhythms, the first music that we heard was that of our mother's heartbeats. And
Hmm.
so I
Good.
want to encourage the community to lead with their hearts. Like
Hmm.
if it doesn't feel right, if you even sit there and have to question, like, is that, then maybe it is, and to let
Hmm.
it go. Keep it simple.
Mm. I love that. Y'all, it's amazing how connected we all are. Y'all hear this? Because I swear to y'all, what I prepared, because y'all know I've gotten in the habit of preparing mine a couple of days before. And what I prayed about and wrote down was for our gems and gents and us as well to consciously emit positivity. Like make it an intention every single day to choose positivity. And I'm not talking toxic positivity that when something bad happened, you like, well, I'ma just trust God. Yeah, you could trust God, but you could yell too. You could be upset. You could be hurt. Okay. I hate toxic positivity where your car just crashed. Well, maybe God wanted me to meet somebody in a lift. No, nobody in Atlanta knows how to drive. Like, let's just keep it a stack what the real issue is. Like, let's stop making God a genie or a cosmic bully. Like, let's stop doing
Oh
that.
my God.
And so let's be intentional to emit that positivity. Like, make sure that you're speaking well of yourself.
Hmm.
Like, and I had to learn this because y'all know I'm in my fluffy season of life. I've done all the things to lose the weight and it's just not going nowhere. I have just accepted this is who I'm going to be. I can be healthy, but still fluffy. And the first thing I had to do was stop calling myself fat and unattractive. And that took work. Me and my therapist had to work on it. It is not easy because our negative self talk becomes our character. It becomes how we see ourselves, view ourselves, and how we carry ourselves. But once I
Hmm.
began telling myself, look, you a big girl and that's okay. You a full figure grown woman and that's okay. And it became positive for me. I'm starting to enjoy and embrace my size and the fashion that complements that. And so that's just but one example. And I want you to be intentional to speak well of yourself and invite positivity into your life, not the toxic kind or the faux kind, the real positive vibes. So that is my gem for the night. Do not forget on April 30th, them diamonds is at it again, y'all. We are dropping another one. It is another one. and this book is sure to bless you. So even if you're not into reading, go ahead and get it for a sister who needs to know who she is, who is still defining herself. Go ahead and get that book because we want to tell her who she is, or at least help her to see that. So make sure y'all grab that on April 30th on diamondwriters.com, Amazon, and Barnes and Noble. And then meet us back here on May 5th at 6 p.m. so that you can hear from the diamonds themselves. I don't want to do all the talking. I want you to hear from the writers themselves and all that they poured into this project for y'all. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Go tell a friend to tell a gem to meet us here next Wednesday. And until next time, y'all continue
To
to
hustle
hustle.
and shine.
Nice try.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Let's go.